Let's take a look at how we throw the rise ball. If I took the 5 pitchers from the American Olympic team and asked them each how they grip their rise ball, you'd get 5 different answers. What I'm going to show you is a couple of ideas that you can try with your pitchers. But the grip is not really the most important. What is important with the rise ball is that we find a way to get good backspin on the ball. The grips for the rise ball are the finger curl grip with the middle finger around the seam and the first finger laying flat on the surface of the ball. The fingertip grip with the middle finger in the same position, but the nail of the first finger digging into the ball. And the knuckle grip with, again, the middle finger in the same position and the knuckle dug into the ball. Now, all 3 of these are fine, and maybe you have other ideas on how to grip the rise ball. What you notice in all 3 of these is that I kept my middle finger in the same position on the ball, and I think that's important because the middle finger is going to push, and it needs something to push against. And if we leave it there against the seam, it has something to push on. Okay? With the rise ball, when we're getting the release and trying to get the backspin, what we want to do is use the middle finger to push and spin the ball backwards. We're going to actually cut the hand underneath the ball. When I teach this pitch to young players, oftentimes what I'll do is tell them to just hold their hand out flat, put the ball in their hand, and cut their hand under the ball, moving towards their pinky or the side of their hand. Okay, so they're scooping their hand under the ball, and essentially that's what you're doing with a rise ball. In this position, now we're going to take this and we're going to drop it down here to the side of our body. From here, we're going to find our grip, and you'll notice a couple of things that I've done differently. My arm turns from the typical fastball delivery, where I have my thumb down, and it turns to where my pinky comes forward. My elbow is now into my body, my palm is away from my body, and in this position, now I'm in the position to just cut underneath the ball as I release it. Okay? In this position, I'm going to drop my thumb down, my pinky comes up, and the ball actually falls or spins backwards. Another easy way to think of it is if I held my hand at the side of my body with my arm against my leg and I just let the ball fall out of my hand, I'd have that backspin that I'm looking for with a rise ball. Now, to continue through this, what we're going to start doing is tossing the ball up in the air to ourselves and working on sliding the hand under the ball and putting backspin on the ball. When I first learned this pitch, my coach had me do this 200 times a day in the gym, just tossing it in the air to myself. That's how important the spin is. No matter what we do with mechanical changes, if the spin isn't on there, it's not going to rise. And we want a true rise ball that has good backspin. After I've learned how to toss the ball in the air to myself, then I'm going to continue and I'm going to toss the ball to a catcher. Now my catcher is only going to be about 5 or 10 feet away from me. I'm going to be side on, and I'm going to be my hand at my side. I'm just going to very easily go back and scoop my hand under the ball, trying to allow the ball to spin backwards. Very easy. Slide the hand under the ball, and palm stays out away from the body. Okay? When I can do this, and I've been successful with this close delivery, then I'm going to back up a little ways. From here, I'm going to add a little bit more spin, a little bit more speed. Okay? I'm going to try to throw the ball harder, farther, so that I can continue with that good backspin. Now, let's talk about a couple of little mechanical changes that we need to make. Okay? Through the rise ball, you can notice, you probably noticed as I'm demonstrating right now, I'm demonstrating and my shoulder drops down. My pitching shoulder drops down. And as I'm coming forward with my wrist, my hips come forward. The rise ball is the pitch that we're going to stay. It's very important that we stay sideways, that we don't push the shoulders and the hips forward and around and face the catcher. And this is the most common mistake that pitchers make with the rise ball. They try too hard. When they try too hard, they push the ball. They don't spin the ball. And in this case, if we push the ball, we're going to end up taking rotation off. And when I say push, I mean bring the shoulder forward. And we're going to take rotation off of the ball. We're going to cause more of a corkscrew effect, spinning in this direction, and it's going to make the ball flatten out. It's not going to rise the way we want it to. So we're going to stay in that side-on position, and the shoulder stays down and the shoulder stays back. To help me do this, I take a little bit longer stride so that my body weight stays back, more on my back foot. Okay? So to continue through the progression and how we're going to learn this pitch, we are going to go from the side-on position now to a regular stride, but continue with more or less a slingshot delivery. Bringing the hand back, stepping, and snapping under the ball so that our arm is from here down, and that's all we're working on. Okay? After we've achieved some success from that position, then we're going to start going through the delivery, but slowly, concentrating and focusing on spin. Easy. And notice when I finished in my side-on position with my shoulder staying back. One more time. Once again, the most common problem on the rise is that rather than finishing sideways, pitchers want to push the ball and especially bring the shoulder forward. We don't want that. We want the shoulder to stay back. We want the spin, the wrist to bring the ball forward. Let the spin go backwards. That will push the ball up.